Alright, getting ready to play some drive time football this morning. Cassette tapes. There's my cassette collection. Some blank tapes, some mixed tapes. There's a 1994 Universal Almanac. And there's my Powder Blue Sports collection. This one is four score baseball. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same box. I mean, fortunately, it's got a brilliant plastic box, which is wonderful. But it doesn't match the other, so I keep it also in this. There's my APBA football basic and my simple solo charts in my football field, and there's my 1994 set. There's my current non-champions league, and then we come over here to the game spot where we're going to play a game this morning. There we go. And old school. When I say I'm old school, I like my cassette tapes. I like my dice, I like my cards, I like my paper, my pencils, calculators. Notice there are no phone chargers, there's no cell phones, there's no smartphones, there's no laptop, right? Yeah, so I'm just, I'm not anti-technology, anti-digital. There's certain places I like it in my life. All right, Drive Time Football in the Champions League, Week 1, Game 7. The 2003 Kansas City Chiefs come to play the 1980 Cleveland Browns. I have not selected the teams I think can win this league, but Kansas City would be on that short list. Why do you ask? Well, they scored almost 500 points. They were 13-3, but they extracurricular scoring. They returned kicks and punts for touchdowns. They returned interceptions on 2 numbers. They don't have a fumble recovery. And then on offense, 6, 7, and 8 red zone. Their touchdowns in the red zone are from 4 through 9. This team is going to be a very dangerous football team. On the flip side, though, today they get to open up on the road against Brian Sipes' Cleveland Browns. Again, red zone, similar to Kansas City. They have 6, 7, and 8. However, they do not score from 4 all the way through 9. So they went 11-5. They have no curricular scoring. Extracurricular scoring, 0. And they can miss extra points on 11 and 12. So these 1980s teams are going to have kickers that are less reliable than the modern teams, right? So, okay, Cleveland gets the ball to start. There are no punt and kick returns for Cleveland. Let's find out what they do on drive 1. It's going to be offense 5. They're going to fumble the ball away. The one thing that they don't want to do, the one thing they want to do, if they're going to turn it over, they want to do a fumble, because Kansas City cannot score on a fumble. Punting, bad idea. Interceptions, bad idea. All right, Kansas City with the ball after a fumble. It's going to be the defense of Cleveland, 11 turnover on downs. So Cleveland's defense, though, is staunch, and they hold. Kansas City, Cleveland goes to work after the turnover on downs. Cleveland defense 6 is going to be a punt. Kansas City, what will they do on the punt? Do they return it for a touchdown? They do not. Offense 5 is a punt. Wow. First quarter, defensive. Cleveland gets the ball back to wrap up the first quarter. It'll be defense 10, punt. Nobody has scored in the first quarter of this game. So Cleveland's holding. They're managing their own. Kansas City starts the second. Kansas City defense 9, punt. God, I knew these games would be defensive, but wow. Cleveland goes to work. Offense 10, punt. KC, man, we're midway through the half. Midway through the second quarter, and no one has scored. Kansas City offense 3, red zone. There we go. Kansas City, their red zone. Kansas City 7, touchdown run for Priest Holmes. Holmes, TD run, PAT's good. Cleveland now facing it. as they are now behind a very good KC offense. Offense 3, picked off. Uh-oh. Brian Sipe intercepted. The return for these guys is dangerous. Oh, almost a touchdown. Kansas City with a chance to extend their lead before halftime. Offense 7 is red zone. And 3, field goal. They're going to get a field goal from Anderson. And Cleveland gets the ball on the final drive of the half. 2 minutes to go. Brian Sipe and Cleveland were very good at being a comeback team. Offense 12 is turnover on downs. So they drive down to no man's land and decide to wave off the field goal chance and go for it. And they turn it over on downs. Kansas City's up 10-0 at halftime, folks. All right, KC gets the ball to start the second half. They're going to do their kick return right now. And they'll get it. Touchdown. Kick return touchdown. Oh, my God. By Dante Hall. Kickoff return TD. PAT. Cleveland absolutely stunned now as they're down 17-0 to this Kansas City team. Again, there's a handful of teams in this set I think can win the entire championship. I think this 03 Kansas City team is one of them. Defense, we're looking at Kansas City's defense. 8 is picked off. Oh no, and they can add to their lead with a 3 or an 11. Nope. Kansas City with a 17-0 lead midway through the third takes over. Offense 10 is going to be a punt for them. Cleveland really needs to start scoring. Offense 4 is going to be a punt. Final drive of the third quarter, 17-0 Kansas City. A chance for them to add to their lead. Offense 6, red zone. 5 is a TD run for Priest Holmes. And that'll wrap it up. Holy cow. 14 more points scored by KC. It is 24-0. 2003 Kansas City waylaying Brian Sipe's Cleveland Browns. Fourth quarter gets underway. Brian Sipe has thrown 2 interceptions today. Dante Hall has returned to opening kickoff of the second half for a touchdown. Cleveland. Offense 4, punt. Kansas City. Offense 7, red zone. Touchdown, pass. So this is going to be Green. TD pass 2, and this is going to be Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez, PAT. It is now 31-0. This will be our first blowout of the set, as Cleveland was known as the Cardiac Kids. They were Brian Sipe and company. I had the most comeback victories in '80, and then lost in the playoffs to the Raiders, who went on to win the Super Bowl. But right now, they have run into a modern offense, well coached, and it has chewed them up and spat them out. Cleveland 6. Oh, finally, Cleveland might avoid the shutout, folks. Oops, excuse me. Cleveland 6. Right, yes. Whoops. And 7. They are going to get a touchdown pass from Sipe. There's the comeback kid, Sipe. TD pass to Logan. They can miss the extra point. They do not. All right, KC. They already have their kick return for a touchdown. Defense 7 is red zone. Oh no, defense. Cleveland 11 missed field goal. Anderson misses a field goal. Cleveland's got the ball with 4 minutes to play. Defense 7 is red zone. Cleveland, the comeback team, is going to get a second touchdown pass from Sipe. And this will be to Ozzie Newsome. PAT is good. Kansas City's final drive of the day is offense 8. It's a red zone trip. Kansas City's going to put this baby away with a 10. Missed field goal. Holy cow, Anderson missed 2 field goals. And that's it. Game over. Hall opens up the second half with a kick return for a touchdown. Brian Sipe throws an interception, but the defense holds, causing some punts. But Kansas City, before the end of the third, Holmes will punch in his second rushing touchdown of the day. And that made it 31-2. It's 24-0. The Cleveland forced a punt. Green throws a touchdown pass to Gonzalez. That made it 31-0. But Brian Sipe finally answers with a pass to Dave Logan. Anderson then misses a pair of field goals in the final 6 minutes. Brian Sipe squeezes in another touchdown pass to Newsom. But it won't be enough. Let's do the tallies here. Green, touchdown, missed field goal. So 7 for the Chiefs. Made it 31-0. And then Brian Sipe got 14 points in the final stanza. Again, the Browns were known for their comebacks. Unfortunately, way too little too late. 31-14. Beautiful game. Chiefs go to 1-0. And the Browns are going to face this all year because they were a little above average on both offense and defense. They're opportunistic on defense, and they have no way to score outside of their offense or the opposing team's defensive red zone. So the Chiefs, on the other hand, are dangerous, but they can also score on punts, kicks, and 2 instances of interceptions. So I think the Browns are going to struggle all year. Anyway, this has been Drive Time Football and Coffee, the Non-Champions League. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.